Hello there.
Well, hello there, troopers, and welcome back to General Economics Bunker. Thank you so much for joining us here for another fine episode of The High Ground. That's right, it is Wednesday night. We got quite the show lined up for you, and I am joined, as always, by my partner in crime. What's going on, Mike?
What's up, man? How we doing?
Doing good, doing all right, doing all right. Trying to stay above water, as the kids say nowadays. It's been a week. It's been a week, but here we are. Hanging out with the Bunker Bunch. Um, we got quite the show. We got quite the show. So we're finally able to catch up with one of our buddies that we've been in contact with and we've seen at cons and things like that. And you know what? I did not remember. Um, he was one of your very, very first interviews. I forgot about that. So we'll drop a link to that in a little bit. But yeah, how about you? What's going on? What's new?
Just trying to fake it till I make it to the weekend. It has definitely been a week. It seems like we say that every week, but every week seems to be that week. So
no kidding, yeah.
Kids are on summer break. I don't get breaks, so I'm working. I'm just waiting for my summer break in like 20-something years.
Yeah, I was gonna say we still got a few more summers to go there, but yeah, I hear you, man. Yeah, the kid is out too for vacation. Yeah, I'm like, how many months is this like gonna happen? Like,
let's give some props to the school districts, the teachers out there for basically helping us raise our kids, because you forget like how much it worked until like that first or second week. You're like, I have to feed them 3 times a day. That's ridiculous.
Exactly. Yeah, very much so, man. And yeah, very well said. Definitely. Thank you to all the hard worker, education system, employees, all the way from the bottom to the top, man. From like you said, the teachers, the principals, but also, cafeteria people, like
the
staff,
supporting,
like
everybody
yeah,
that helped our
absolutely.
kids.
Yeah, and so thank you for all the hard work and get some rest. Use the next couple months, man, to recharge, right? Because, like you said, it's a tough gig, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. Like sometimes we're like, woo, man, my kid wore me out. It's like they got to do that times like 20 or even more. So it's
no kidding, right? Day in and day out too. So yeah, definitely hats off to them. But yeah, looking forward to the summer. Of course, con season is in full swing. Just about, we got quite a bit of stuff, and yeah, we'll catch up with some of those shows for sure here in the future. I think we are. I don't think we got anything officially going on this month, but next month, man, we got quite a bit of stuff, and August is gonna be very interesting, very, very interesting. Yeah, definitely. But we've talked here long enough. I know tonight you guys are not here for just Mike and I. You're here for our guest. Our guest, who is first of all, great guy, super talented, super nice too. I gotta say, it was a blast meeting him in person last year at Rebels Con 1. Second one coming up, remember, in August. Said events. And he was gracious enough to chat with us. Like I said, he actually was kind enough to give Mike one of his very first interviews, if not his very first one, actually. So I'll drop a link to that in a little bit. But very talented actor, very talented. I don't even know what to call him, an athlete, stuntman, all of the above. And if that wasn't enough, he's also a fan, guys. He's also, turns out he kind of does like this stuff. Who'd have thunk, right? But we do want to bring him on to talk about all of that and more. So please, let's give a warm welcome into the bunker. We got Danny Romero. What's going on, man?
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
Good, man. Welcome. Appreciate you joining, man. Exactly. So thank you first of all for making time to talk to us here. Let me move some stuff here. And there we go. That's better.
There we go.
All right. So yeah, man, welcome. Yeah, exactly. Spotlight. Love it.
Yeah.
So how you doing, man? How are things?
Doing good. Yeah, doing good. Can't complain. Get to wake up today. God's been good to me.
There you go.
My eyes are open. I got a chance. So
yeah, I love that. Very, very cool. But yeah, again, thank you so much for making time for us. Like I said, we've been chatting for a little while, and it always one thing or another doesn't quite work out. So I'm glad that tonight, we were able to finally sync up and have you on here. So welcome
Yeah.
again. So guys, we are gonna be chatting, with Danny. If you guys have any questions, respectfully, we ask that you drop it here in the chat. All right, let's keep it PG-13. So please, if you guys, anybody has any questions, put them up here and we'll address them, as we go along. But
Yep.
speaking of the chat, I do want to shout out, even before we started, man, we got Brad from Collecting with Cool with the super sticker, man.
What's
Appreciate
up,
it.
buddy?
Wait a minute. Wait a
Whoops.
minute. How did this happen? We're smarter than this.
Apparently not.
Thank you, Brad, for that. We always appreciate it. That is going straight to the Bunkers Hydration Fund. So thank you for that. I say that, but this is Dr. Pepper.
I
Black
was about to
cherry,
say,
by
what's
the
the
way,
hydration?
highly recommended. This is nice.
I think there's water in there. I think you're all right.
Yeah.
that
I
counts.
mean, so are you a Dr. Pepper person or a root beer person? I mean, drinking Dr. Pepper, but like if you had to choose.
Oh, like, that's a good question. I do like Dr. Pepper, and they have been coming up with a lot of flavors, so I keep like finding myself going back to them a lot. But
Yeah.
I do enjoy a good root beer in general. So
Yeah.
you drive a
Mhm.
hard bargain, sir. I don't know. So Brett saying hello there. Appreciate you, Brett. Thank you again for the contribution, the super sticker. Much obliged.
Speaking of super stickers, I got a sticker right here. Look at that right there.
Hey, look what it
Oh.
is.
Yeah.
That's
Got it right here.
awesome. All right. So not everybody throws them away. I'm glad, dude. Yeah,
Oh no,
that's awesome.
right here.
I'm
Yeah.
kidding. Yeah. No, I appreciate it, man. So we got Darth Vader pulling double duty here. We got Sexy Flex in the house. What's going on, man? Our friend Elijah saying, "What up, homies?" And Bunker Bunch. Appreciate you, man. We got Ultra in the house saying hi to everybody. Flex saying hi to Ultra. Ultra saying some pickups from WWE Elite Hall. Good job, man. And we got Mike saying hi to everybody as well. All right. So when we have our first time guest here in the bunker, we do like to take a little bit of a trip back into your story. We like to ask about your secret origin. So
Sure.
we know you're a fan. We know you like this stuff, but I'd like for you to tell us, if you remember, like the first time that you saw Star Wars, so that you really like fell in love with it.
Oh man, first time like I really fell in love with it. Or I guess we start from the beginning. So when I remember seeing episode 1 in the theaters.
Nice.
That one I do remember seeing. I remember in the backyard with my brother, just kind of like it was just him and I, doing the Duel of the Fates, but like constantly switching roles.
Sweet.
But we didn't have lightsabers, so we had like those garden sticks, those really big garden sticks that like you tie a vine around so it grows into like stands straight up to the tree.
Right.
We would use those, and that would be our lightsabers, and we just kind of like switch between roles. And I remember just being in the backyard and doing Duel of the Fates the entire time with him. And then as time progressed on, episode 2 and 3 came out, and then they started coming out with the lightsabers that the telescope lightsabers.
Yeah.
And then so I was very fortunate to live next to my cousins, so we all got lightsabers.
Nice. Yeah.
We had blue, purple, red. When Revenge of the Sith finally came out, we had the red one. And so we'd be in the front yard with a bunch of kids just playing lightsabers. But then there's always that one person, and 90% of the time it was me, who would hit the fingers. So we stopped playing.
Yeah, I was gonna say game over, man.
Yeah, we're done. But yeah, I remember that. And then I remember episode 3 dressing up as Anakin Skywalker, the Jedi, but it wasn't like how things were now. It was those, Party City
Oh yeah, for sure.
plastic masks that when you put it on and like you take it off, it cuts your face, and it never stayed nice and tight on it. So you had to
Yes.
like this. Yeah, I had that, and I remember it came also with like a really cheaper telescope lightsaber that you had to pull out, and the light kind of just flashed at the bottom.
Yeah.
So, and if you swung it, it like bent in half, and it was just done. So, growing up, Star Wars was always kind of there.
Mhm.
I'm thinking back about it now, and I think I mentioned this when we had our first interview. the game for episode 3 came out before the movie.
For the movie,
So
yes.
yeah, so I played the game, and I remember I beat it, and I went to go with my cousin's husband my cousin's husband, and he took me to the theater to bond with me,
Nice.
and uh, I was talking the entire time because I knew the movie. So I was reciting it, and I
Oh, that's
remember
awesome.
reciting the final battle.
Yeah.
You know, the one that everyone recites. And at the end, he's like, "Did you see the movie before?" It's like, "No, the game came out and it has clips of the movie in it." So Star Wars has always kind of been there, and when you would like Anakin Skywalker, and you'd be made fun of for liking Anakin Skywalker,
Such
and
were those times. Yep.
Yep.
yeah. So the original fans, no, but and even for him, it's good to see that he's have that all that love, that because now we're all grown up, he has all that love coming back to him, and same with like Ahmed Best, more power
Yes.
to all of them,
Very
to
much
see
so.
that the fandom kind of turned, and now they get their flowers because they did some fantastic work,
They did.
and
Oh yeah.
it's a shame whatever happened back then, but for them to kind of have like their arc and come right back, and the fandom welcome them with open arms is such a fantastic thing. um
And that
let me
they've
see what else.
returned back to the property too, right? So that's
They're willing to return back.
yeah, they're willing to return. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Which is fantastic. I don't know if you guys played the original PlayStation, like PlayStation 1, where it's like it was the gray one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember playing Phantom Menace on that, and
Oh
I
yeah.
and I know I never beat it. Like,
Yeah.
I know for a fact I never beat it. It was
Nice.
just one of those things where like games as a kid, you don't quite understand what to do.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's like you're kind of just playing mindlessly. Like what are some games like Donkey Kong 64? I beat that for the first time in like 2020.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
went back
awesome.
and beat it. And
Yeah.
then same thing with Pokemon Blue. I beat it well, probably not for the first time, but like for the first time since I was a kid, because I finally understood like what Pokemon were against what, and like how to do it, and not go
Strategy.
straight to
Yeah.
the Elite Four.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Very much.
yeah. And I only beat it because Rory ended up giving me one of his Game Boys,
Oh
and
nice.
he had the game with it. And so like, you know what? I was on set one day. I was on I think I was on SWAT,
Mhm.
and we were just holding for like 8 hours. So I gamed,
That's
played
awesome.
Pokemon the entire time, and I was like, all right, cool, I get it now. My life is
Yes.
complete. I've beaten
Yeah.
this
Right.
game.
Exactly.
I got to come back to it.
There is something to be
But
said about going back and just beating a game that frustrated you or that you left
yeah,
unfinished, like when you were a kid or a teenager, whatever. There is a certain I don't know if closure is the appropriate word, but there is sort of a round,
closure.
like, okay, we got it done, we closed this
Yeah,
circle.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that's awesome,
Closure.
man.
Yeah. So I know that was like a broad thing about Star Wars and
No, no, I
games,
love
but
it.
it's all kind of had to do with starting with Phantom Menace, and then growing up. Episode 2 was good in my life, but it didn't have as much of an impact as 3.
Yeah.
Because 3, I was a little bit older and I kind of understood the story a little bit better. 1 was just the first one that I ever saw, and then the relationship I had with my brother. um 2 just kind of kept the story going, and then 3 kind of really sealed it off.
Yeah, yeah, I hear that. So at any point did you, or maybe in between those, did you catch up with the originals, with the original trilogy?
Yeah, I actually have them on VHS.
Nice,
Yeah,
love
have
it.
them in VHS with that the trilogy box that they have,
Yeah,
where it has all 3 of them in it. Yeah, I caught up with those. I think he might have showed them to me at the time, and I remember learning that Vader who Vader was. It's like, oh, now this totally makes sense.
Yeah.
exactly.
So
Now it
it's like,
clicks. Yeah,
okay, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
But for at least for me, watching the original trilogy was great. But I think just because what I had with the prequels, again with all those memories, those are my Star Wars
I
movies.
hear you.
You know,
Yep.
but I love the original trilogy. They paved the way for what we have. But my Star Wars movies are 1, 2, and 3,
Yeah,
or prequels. 1, 2, and
yeah,
3.
exactly. No, I'm
Yeah.
with you on there. I think all of us here are basically prequel kids.
Yeah,
Um, because like you said, right, it's just the experience, right, just being in the theater, the hype surrounding the movies, going immediately afterwards to Toys R Us and just seeing aisles and aisles of toys, dude. Like, I miss those
I
days,
need all
man.
these.
Yeah, exactly. And you're trying to find the one person or the one character you liked, and for the most part they were there, right? Like all the main ones were there, like ready for you to just pick up. Um,
I
yeah,
remember Kmart back in the day. The whole
Yeah.
aisle
yeah,
Yeah.
was Star Wars, Phantom Menace, like
R.I.P.
every
Kmart.
action figure they
Yeah.
had. Man,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, they had dedicated aisles, man, for this stuff. Like just
Yeah.
entire setups. I still remember those giant, Naboo fighters that they had like hanging from the ceilings.
Mhm.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
always wanted to get my hands on one of those. Like I've only one collector that I've met had one of those, and yeah, I mean he wasn't willing to part with it, but yeah, I mean I know they're out there, but
Yeah.
but that's awesome, man. So well, actually, let me catch up here with the chat. We had some people join us. So we got Luis saying hello, General Kenobi. What's going on, man? Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate you. We got Nilda from Appetite for Collectibles saying, "Hola, boys. What's going on, Nilda? Thank you so much for coming in."
Hey.
Ultra saying hi to Nilda. Mike saying hi to Nilda. Nilda saying hi back to Ultra and Mike. We got Rex from Millennium Workshop. What is going on, brother? Thank you so much for coming in. Got saying good evening, everyone. And look who it is, Janine. What's up? Saying hello, guys. Back from the doctor just in time. Hey, Janine. I hope that Scott is doing a lot better. I hope that it was a good doctor, good visit to the doctor is what I meant. So our good friend Scott, who is the husband of Janine and also part of another group called the Spice Runners Lounge, very well known here in the community, had a, I don't know if massive is the right word, but had a very
Well, they call it the
life-threatening.
Widowmaker.
Yeah, I
Like
was gonna say heart
it's
attack.
the heart
So
attack. Yeah. So
yeah, with a 12% survival rate, and he pulled through. So we're pretty
Yeah.
grateful for that. It's been challenging for sure. Of course some of the after effects and things like that. But
Mhm.
Janine, it has been an absolute trooper, and we send you guys all our love, all our strength, guys. You're definitely gonna pull through this, and remember, you're not alone. You're always in our thoughts. So, and once again, please don't hesitate to reach out if you guys need anything. So yeah, so big hug to Scott. I hope that he's feeling a lot better. Look what it is, Nilda with the $10 super sticker. Technically $9.99, but there's something about just saying $10. It just counts.
yeah, you get it.
Wait a minute. How did this happen? We're smarter than this.
Apparently not.
Thank you so much, Nilda. We really appreciate it. As always, all these funds go straight to keeping us hydrated around here. We got Action Joe Fix in the house saying, "Good evening, everyone. What's going on, brother? Thanks so much for joining. Did you change your logo, Action Joe Fix? I think that's different." Mike saying, "Thank you to Nilda. Absolutely." Janine saying he's feeling good today. Oh, I'm glad.
Good.
Yes, the Widowmaker for sure. Thank you, love you back, Janine. And like I said, definitely give our best to Scott. We got Elijah saying, "Love you, Bo Niner." Absolutely. Yeah, you did, right? Okay, cool. Nice. Love you, Sexy Flex. This is Janine. Absolutely. Okay, so you were into Star Wars as a kid, but at what point, uh, maybe before, maybe after, did sort of like the acting, bug come in? Like when you're like, you know what? Yeah, I think I want to go for this.
Well, so the bug came in a little bit in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
So, my degree is actually in animation and game design.
Nice.
So growing up, I watched a lot of movies with my mom, right? That's just kind of our thing. We just watch movies constantly. And it got to the point where I'd watch animations and or animated movies, and I'd be like, I can probably do this. Like I can really make these kind of worlds, these characters, whatever it might be, right? So that's what I went to school for. Um, it kind of turned when I was in college, and my buddy who was already into acting kind of just
Mm.
said like, hey, just give it a try and like see how it is. Like try to get in front of the camera, like just see what happens. Because he and I were talking about it, and like I said, he'd been doing it before, so he kind of just said, give it a try. If you like
Yeah.
it, you like it. If you don't, whatever. So I needed an elective, and I ended up doing a theater class, and I liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun. Like I'd never been into theater before
Mm-hmm.
that. In high school, it really wasn't my scene.
Gotcha.
I practiced football, right? I practiced football, and I say practice because I wasn't good enough to play, so I just practiced. Um, so I practiced football, and theater really wasn't where it didn't make sense for me, right?
Yeah.
It just wasn't what I did. So in college, I ended up doing the theater class, or the intro to theater, how to act and everything. And I liked it and had a good time. And at the end of it, the teacher goes, I really thought you were going to bomb this class and like just kind of not care, but
Yeah.
you seem fine. So you should
Nice.
probably look into this. And then, so I did. I looked a little bit further into it. Started doing a lot of different type of work. And I found out I like being on camera. I like being in these kind of worlds,
Nice.
whatever kind of world it might be. Most of the worlds I get to be a part of are those military worlds,
Mhm.
EMTs, doctors, anybody with the uniform kind of roles,
Nice.
right?
Yeah.
So
Would you say
further
that
I jumped.
that I was gonna say, would you say that your gaming experience, like we all grew up playing games, like we go into a different world when we're behind the controller, and so
Yeah,
you're like physically stepping into these type of roles with kind of like that same mindset of like I'm going into battle or I'm going in to do this task
yeah.
like a game wide, right? So that's an interesting connection right there.
Yeah.
Definitely when I got onto Star Wars, it was more of that kind of connection.
No,
Yeah.
for sure.
But before that, like especially with the police and the military ones, my family is law enforcement, and my other parts of my
Oh
family
yeah.
are military.
Nice.
So I'd kind of grown up seeing those kind of sides of people. So I kind of took that into those kind of roles, and that's kind of how I got to be where I am, or where I was rather. Um, and again, I've been just very fortunate with the roles I've been able to do. I've done the rookie, SEAL team, 911, Station 19, Firehouse 19, or Firehouse. Oh God, ER, the old man, basically anybody with a weapon or like any kind of person that's a doctor, right?
Nice.
Um, and then the older I got, it just kind of started turning into something a little bit different. Um, because growing up, like I said, watching a lot of movies, those were my escape, right? Watching the movies were my escape with my mom. And growing and further I got into my acting career, I said, look, I could probably do this in a way that I could really be a part of something that gives people those escapes and build those
Mhm.
worlds and be those kind of characters for people. And I'd always hoped and dreamed that I could do something like that. And never did I think that I would end up in a position where I'm at now. And again, I'm very blessed with being a part of anything that's this big, right? Let alone just in the background, but be like its own, how do I say it? Recognizable character, I guess you can
Yep.
call it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I
For
could
sure.
I could be any other kind of character, but it's really recognizable with the suit. And I'm very fortunate with that. And I just think that now I'm able to kind of share my stories with people and hear other people's stories and talk to people like you guys and just kind of nerd out with Star Wars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But my acting career it started off as like hey, give it a try and see if you like it. And when I got to do Civil War with Scott Wynn and Certain Point of View films, I'd always wanted to get into stunts and fight choreo. My background is a little bit with fighting, jujitsu, karate, boxing, what have you. But just like anybody else, you kind of just don't know where to go,
Sure.
and you're kind of like just really scared to ask somebody. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I got fortunate enough that the stunt team who was there were like they were a little hesitant about letting me do a couple of beats here and there for a fight, but I let them know my background. They're like, all right, cool. Like, well, let's put something together and then let's put something together. And then if it looks good, if you feel comfortable, we'll do it. If not, we'll figure it out. Well, after about an hour of putting it together, they're like, yeah, you're fine. Like
Nice.
you're good to do it. Like
Good to go. Yeah.
solid, solid, great. And that's what I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to really be a fight choreographer kind of person, like in the mix of the fighting.
Yeah.
So I got very fortunate to be part of that stunt team, or at least the fight team in the beginning. After that, I trained a little bit with the stunt team who's out here in Burbank. I went for a little while to kind of just hang out and train with them and kind of learn a little bit more about the practice. And since then, I've been a part of a couple of different projects for Fight Choreo. I'm still
Nice.
very rusty. I have a lot to learn. But it's kind of just a step in the direction that I still want to continue to go.
Nice.
And just another one of those things like, hey, just give it a try, see if you like it. If you can do it, do it. If not, at least you tried it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know,
You tried.
Yeah, because the worst thing that you can do in life is saying, "I wish I could have." I would
Yeah.
feel that regret, and I wish I would have done something, 10 years later. You know, so I'm very fortunate that I got to at least do that opportunity. I haven't been able to go recently. Things have kind of changed in my schedule, so I can't exactly go as much as I want to. But when we went back on set the last month to finish up the film, um, one of the guys who was putting the choreo together also remembered that I trained with him for quite a bit. So he was like, "Yeah, you're fine. We're gonna put a little bit more spice on it, a little bit more to it because I know
Yeah,
you can do it. So we're gonna continue to go on it." So even that, like, because stunts is a big liability for anybody,
Oh
right?
yeah.
And
absolutely.
I had a good conversation with I forget his name. His name's Peter, but I forget his last name. He's one of the guys, stunt fighters for Bat in the Sun, and Aaron. I forgot his last name too. Forget all these guys' last names, but he did Ryu, right,
Yeah.
for Bat in the Sun.
Okay.
Um, had a good conversation with him about a year ago. He made a good point. Like, stunts is a big liability. Just because you can do it doesn't mean you should. You really have to work with the team, and you have to really show them that you're capable of doing it. Because you mess up, they're kind of liable for everything, right?
True. That's a good point,
So
actually. Yeah.
so when we wrapped the first time for filming, I knew that if we came back, there would be a possibility for additional fight scenes. So I wanted to practice with the team and let them know or show them that, hey, I'm capable of doing this. So when we got back on the set, it wasn't a question. And
Yeah.
very fortunate that we got back on the set. They knew I trained with them. They're like, yeah, we're gonna put a little bit more spice into it. We're good to go.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's good.
Was
Yeah.
that second round? Was that more scenes, or was that kind of like the reshoots, or how would you
It
say
was some
that was?
reshoots. It was some
Okay.
reshoots. There was definitely a lot more scenes that we put into it. Um,
Nice.
and there was also a bigger stunt crew that came out there, and they did a lot of their wrecks and their crashes and whatnot. So I just got to do a little bit of fight choreo, but the stunt team that got to go out there was A level. They were fantastic guys. Tip my hats to all of them because what they were doing was like, you would look at them and be like, damn, that guy's like not walking away from that. And then they did.
Yeah.
So, but they were fantastic guys. They're all really nice guys. And they did fantastic work. So I'm excited to see what they were able to do when it comes out.
This definitely sounds more than just your typical, fan film.
Mhm.
And I've had a few people ask questions like, when is
Yeah.
it coming out? And I was like, hey, and they're doing some reshoots. I think they're working on some stuff. But
Yeah.
they've seen the clips and they've seen like the stills that y'all have posted. And this does not look by any means like you have a great community, great production, obviously great actors and great stunt team in there. So I'm really
Yeah.
looking forward to it. So you keep us updated with that.
Yeah, man. And I say this a lot. It's when ambition meets passion, you get something that's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
And I
Oh
think
yeah.
everybody who's a part of that project is just a really big fan of Star Wars, and they're all really passionate about making something awesome, right? Scott, when Scott came up with the idea, I told the story over the weekend. Scott called me and said, "Hey, bro, do you like? I have this idea. Do you want to do it?" And one of the things I said was, "Let me talk to Rory, see what he says." And he goes, "Oh, Rory's already in. Like, we're good to
Nice.
go." It's like, "Oh, well then, yeah, sure, I
Yeah, if
guess."
Rory's
Like,
in, I'm in. Yeah.
yeah.
Nice.
And that's the funny thing about Rory and my relationship is he jumps in, then asks questions. I ask questions, evaluate it, and then I'll jump in.
Right.
You know, I was like, "Ah, well, if he's in, then I guess we're doing this thing." Um, but yeah, it was really ambitious, and you know, we brought a lot of cosplayers out there who have most likely never been in a project. A lot of the cast is people who were a part of the shows in our own way. People who behind the scenes are also part of the shows in their own way. Um, and they're all industry professionals, and mostly people who are working on the project are industry professionals. And a lot of the suits that you're going to see on screen are cosplayers. Um, and I think it's just a lot of fun that we were able to mix the two together and create something super awesome for the fans.
So, for reference, let me show you here, guys. So we got um, this one here. Whoops, wrong.
Wrong us.
And here we go. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, here we go. Okay, so from a certain point of view, they are putting together with, like Danny has been mentioning, a technically, yes, it's a fan film, right? For Star Wars, it's called Civil War, but as we've been talking about here for the past, couple of minutes or so, this thing looks incredible. I mean, just look at that. Come on, that's this again, quote unquote fan film, and I use that term a little bit loosely because this just seems so much better, right,
There's
than a lot
way
of the
more.
stuff
Yeah.
that's out there. Um, like Danny was mentioning, it's a passion project, for a lot of people, but they also happen to be, pros. Like they also happen to have been involved with the shows. They also have to be, involved in the industry. So, it's definitely coming, from a place of love, but also highly talented individuals, pulling their resources together, working together, to make something that I think is going to be insanely good. So we're very much, excited about this project. Just look at those sets. Come on, guys, that looks amazing.
You know what it
Um,
reminds me of? This reminds me of the OG, like back in the day when they were first doing Star Wars.
mhm.
There were a bunch of cowboys out there just getting stuff done, and that's
Yep.
exactly what it looks like right there.
Yeah. Also, by the way, hats off to Seb Stills for the pictures, man. He does some good
Yeah.
work, man.
Yep.
Some of this
Still
stuff
mentioned
looks amazing.
Sebastian. He's on the left right there.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah, Sebastian's
Hydration,
on the
very
left.
important.
right
Oh, yeah.
there.
No, he does some fantastic work. All the photos he gets to take. He's super nice guy, super chill, super funny
Yeah.
too. But yeah, he does some fantastic photos, and you know, it, he makes it look really good, really fast.
Yeah,
So,
and that's the. I
oh
love that. I forgot about that one.
yeah, that was yeah, I think that's the bathroom, and they locked me in there, and it was just super hot.
Oh, that's not nice. Yeah, full
Yeah,
on Mando armor.
yeah. Oh
Even
yeah,
worse. Yep.
Middle of the desert.
horrible. Yeah.
Yikes.
It was actually Sebastian who locked me in, or it might have been Harvey. One of the two locked me in there for a few minutes, and then I left and was like, it was hot in there, and that was the face I made. coming
Yeah,
out.
that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, but they're doing
Also,
fantastic.
for reference, guys, all of these links that I'm showing are already here in the description of this video. So make sure, first of all, that you are following our friend Daniel Romero here on Instagram. Also, give these guys a follow, a certain point of view. That you guys can keep up with some of the announcements, with some of the updates, like like you can see here, they post quite a lot of stuff, some awesome shots.
Yeah,
Again,
that was
I'll
fun.
never get tired. Look at that. That suit looks legit, man. Like it looks
Mhm.
straight
Oh
out
yeah.
of the.
So that suit that I'm wearing, the entire suit is painted by Judah. That's
Oh,
Devontae,
nice.
the prop painter for Star Wars for Mando. He actually, um, I'm very lucky actually because I've got to represent his work twice on screen. In here for Civil War and in from the show,
Right.
and also Marcus. I guess his last name Napori. Marcus, the sculptor. So I got to represent their work on screen a couple times, and they're both Emmy nominated artists, right?
That's
Um,
awesome.
but I got to wear the suit. The helmet that I'm wearing in Civil War is a concept art that was originally for Paz. Yeah, that
That
Yeah.
one right
for the
there.
Marauder. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and that thing was so cool. I
Yeah.
felt super awesome wearing it.
I was
Funny
gonna
enough,
say.
the first time around that we shot, we didn't take off the film, like the little film that was on the visor itself. Not only is it super dusty outside, but like the protective film is still on the visor. And I'm doing my fight scene. And afterwards, Scott comes up to me. He's like, "Hey man, like, can you see?" It's like, "Yeah, kinda." And then he pulls off the film. He's like, "You didn't take the film off." Hold on. I didn't even know it was on. So
Nice.
yeah, but that thing is super like,
Yeah.
oh
Yeah,
man.
that's a mean looking,
Yeah.
helmet right there. I like it.
Oh yeah.
Um,
And my counterpart, Tim also wore one that looks just like mine too. Just doesn't have the blaster on top.
nice. Did Tate get to see this already? This helmet?
I don't think so.
No?
I'm not sure. I mean, he must have seen it at some capacity, but I don't think so yet.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Um,
I'm sure he will like it.
I got to show Lateef Crowder
Uh-huh.
one of the
Oh
fight
yeah.
scenes that I got to do
Oh,
for
nice.
Mando, and I showed him, and I got his fist bump of approval. I was like, "Yeah."
Nice. There you
Nice.
go.
But
Doesn't get much higher than that.
oh yeah, I was super happy. I was pumped after this last round of fights. We were running through the the beats, and the fight choreographer Spencer comes to me and he goes, "Hey, bro, like you can see, right?" And I was like, "I don't know, like I know what we're trying to do."
Yeah.
He's like, Can I try on your helmet?" So I was like, "Yeah." So he put on the helmet and went through the beats. He's like, "Oh, you can't see at all," because I kept missing my last beat because
Oh, okay.
I'm not spoiling it. I kept missing my mark because I couldn't see where it was. He's like, "Can you see?" And I told him, "No, like you try this." And he goes,
Yeah,
"Oh,
no
yeah,
kidding.
you really can't see." Because mine was like this, but the other guys was a standard like
Mhm.
T
Regular
Like a
T,
T
visor.
shape.
yeah.
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 Yeah,
So
so
this
you
was pretty
literally
funny.
have nothing off the bridge of your nose. So you
No,
lose all that visual. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
yeah,
tough.
yeah. But it was a good practice for me, just because I know there's so many people, stunt guys out there, fighters that like have those kind of suits. So it really challenged me to make sure I hit my beats and be where I needed to, and really kind of be in sync with my scene partner.
Okay.
And I'm very fortunate again, like that the stunt guys were super professional and super good at what they do. So we got to kind of, go back and forth.
Nice. Yeah, absolutely. So Nilda says Daniel's the best. Had him on the show. Yeah, you did back in
Thank you.
December, I think. But
I
yeah,
think so, yeah.
that he is.
Oh,
So we
fantastic.
got a question from Brian. What's going on, hermano? Welcome,
Sure.
welcome. He says, "How has the industry affected your department when it comes to work in California?" With that's myself for local 80, and I know massive exodus is happening in California.
Yeah. I mean, I think everyone's being affected, man. It's not just us. It's not just actors,
Yeah.
it's everybody from costumes to props to catering, truck drivers.
Yep.
Everybody's super affected right now. I was at Sony Studios not too long ago, and when you went to Sony, like there's cars driving by, people walking around, and you're like, all right, cool. Like there's life here, right?
Right.
And when I went back, like there's one soundstage shooting, like there's like one soundstage shooting, and you're like, man, this place is like a ghost town, and it's like almost I saw a video someone posted yesterday. They called it a relic. Sony's looks like a relic now because there's nothing happening there. But yeah, it's tough right now for everybody. It's not just actors, it's all the departments, and I really feel for everybody. And God willing, stuff comes back to
Yeah.
California, continues to shoot in California. But all we can do is hope.
Yeah.
Yep.
Talked to
Yeah.
Brian a few times because we've seen some productions actually land over here in San Antonio, Austin area, shooting some films, and then hearing, I think, north of Austin that they were looking to build a soundstage. Not too sure what studio it was, and again, it could just be rumors and stuff. But it was kind of interesting to hear that, a few months ago, and then checking in with Brian that we're hearing that. And I don't know what the causes of that shift is, but I mean, it's kind of weird. Like that's where movies are made, and now you're starting to kind of spread different places.
Yeah, man, it's
Yep.
just expensive. It's expensive to be here,
Oh,
unfortunately.
okay.
Yep.
A lot of permits, and the permits to shoot are just super expensive. But yeah, speaking of what's being developed, I know that New Mexico, Arizona, uh, Atlanta is really big, where people shoot. They even say like New York is doing better than LA in terms of
Wow.
shooting, which
Wow.
that surprised me.
Yeah,
That's, yeah,
that's
that's
interesting.
interesting.
I mean, that's what I was told, but whether it's true or not, that's an entirely different thing.
Sure.
But yeah, Texas is another place that they were looking to build. I think I recently read that Las Vegas was trying to get some tax credits to build some stuff out there, but they didn't pass. So I don't think Vegas is going to be one of those places that's uh, an upcoming studio area.
Mhm.
Um, but as far as like everything else, like I said, New Mexico, Arizona, Atlanta, Texas, more than likely. But again, we'll see what happens.
Yep.
God willing, we get to have more fun here because we all love what we do. That's why I shouldn't say why we all came to LA, because I'm from LA. I'm one of the few people you'll meet in this industry that are from here.
Yeah, actually from there,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, but yeah. So just that's why people came here, because they love LA in terms of like the culture, and it's beautiful out here. But yeah, people want to be is where the acting is. But if it's
Yeah.
not here, then we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So Brian says, I've seen your work. It's excellent, man. I didn't get to work on Buccaneer, but I worked at the MBS in Redondo Beach. I know loads of productions leaving the studios. It's sad. Yeah. And
Yep,
Janine basically says, yep, it's about the money.
buddy. Yeah,
Yeah.
MBS was a lot of fun to shoot at. Super far. super far. It was
Yeah.
it was oh man, shooting during COVID was rough because you had to do. Let's see, you had to do a COVID test. You had to go to MBS Studios, and I live in the Valley, so MBS is a good 45-minute drive. Um, and you only had to go for the test, and that's it. You had to get tested and then to come back, and you had to
Dang.
do it before your day started.
Yeah.
So it would have to be like at 5 a.m.
Oof.
Go
Ouch.
there, get tested, come back, and then go on the rest of my day. But yeah, shooting at MBS was a lot of fun. In terms of my work, I mean, my work is just a representation of the people behind the scenes. Again, that's Judah, Marcus, and the entire props and costume department. That's all them. It's I'm just very lucky that I got to wear the suit and portray the character on screen. But anything that in terms of the looks, the way it is, that's the entire film department. The cameramen, the lighting, the editors. That's all them. So I appreciate it, but got to give my flowers. Got to give the flowers to the guys who really put in the work.
Yeah, absolutely. I love this shot, by the way.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that was a super cool shot. I love
Yeah.
that one. Yeah, it was.
Um,
I saw when we first put that picture out.
mhm.
It was on Facebook, and I saw a comment that said, "Who's that tall drink of water, Mando? That glass of water, Mando." What?
Love it.
That's me, but I'm just not gonna say.
I was
That's
gonna put
awesome.
the video up of you in your suit because I was like, it doesn't matter what suit he's in, he always looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love those suits, bro. I think if you scroll down a couple,
Mhm.
scroll down, it's Roy's wedding, right where their Judah is in the middle. Uh, in the middle one. Yeah, that one. So the next slide, that's a good shot.
Nice. That's a good shot. Yeah, absolutely.
That's a good
Man.
shot. And then the two slides at the end after that one.
I didn't put that on a shirt.
I know,
Oh,
right? Oh, I like that. There you go.
That's, yep.
So you,
those
you
are
get to see
some
both
solid
of.
shots.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. And that's in that moment, like I felt like the video game character, like
Mhm.
just looking at that shot, I'm like, oh man, that's such a cool shot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. So
I think
I
we
guess
missed a question from
yeah,
Flex.
I was gonna come back
Okay,
to
okay.
Elijah here, who's asking, Danny, what's your favorite scene or dialogue in Mando show? And what was your first impression upon seeing Grogu on set?
So let's see. My favorite scene or dialogue in the show, like the show that I've been a part of. I'm gonna guess.
Yeah, I think so. Hmm.
So hard to choose, man.
Yeah, they got
Because
some
there's so many
bangers in there.
fantastic. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, other than like my very first time on set, I cried
Yeah.
naturally, and thankfully I had the helmet on.
I was gonna say
Um,
thank you for the helmet.
yeah. Other than that, I think I told this at Rebel Scum, but I'll reiterate it. It was the scene where we were with Tate Fletcher or Paz, and we're talking about going to rescue the town. Right? I can't have brain fog right now. I can't think of the town. Um, and that's before the big fight scene with the pirates.
Yeah.
Navarro.
Yeah,
There we go. When we go to Navarro, and that was my favorite scene because we ended up doing a shot without Tate's helmet, so it was our coverage. And Tate could have just kind of like said the dialogue, but no, he really put some like umph into it without his helmet. So instead of it being Paz Vizsla for me, it was
yeah.
Tate.
Nice.
Tate actually saying the words of like, we need to go to Navarro. I was there that night. And like I will pick up my arms and fight by their side. And then you remember he was going like, because we are Mandalorian. I was like, yes, we are. So, like,
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, he hyped me up in that moment, and just kind of being there with the Mandalorians around the fire, with the armor, with Mando, with Tate. In that moment, it really felt like, damn, like we're in this. We're really in this, and it kind of hit home a little bit that like how fortunate I am to be a part of something this big, because I was ready to go Navarro myself, right? But
Yeah.
that honor goes to Dan Stevens, the really big stunt guy, really
Right.
really awesome stunt guy, my counterpart to the suit. Um, So he got to do a lot of the fun stunt stuff, and he's the one who really made it look really cool. So any of the fight scenes that you see in the poses, that's all Dan Stevens.
Nice.
Dan Stevens is a super awesome guy, super nice guy. But yeah, that was my favorite scene with Tate and Paz, just being around that fire, talking about going to Navarro. And also there's a really cool shot of me and Rory sitting on the rocks, like just kind of being us, right? Because we're like listening, and there's like not a whole lot of act, at least not for me. There wasn't a whole lot of acting. I was like, all right, cool. All right, yeah, we're going to Navarro. And then I stood up like, yes, we're going to Navarro. And yeah, that was my favorite scene to probably shoot.
Nice. That's awesome.
In terms of seeing Grogu, it was it depends. There was a couple different scenes. There was a scene that was cut from final product that I don't know if I can talk about, but I got to see Grogu quite a bit.
Nice.
We got to not interact with him, but like I was in his perimeter. And to see like how it was operated, the puppeteers were super cool to see how they worked it. And to see the different iterations, because you have the puppeteers, the 3 puppeteers who make Grogu jump and walk a little bit, and then you have the robotic one that sits inside his little ship or his little shell that kind of moves up and down, and then you have another one that's kind of a free roam, I think, that they had that also moves robotically. So to see Grogu, was a super awesome thing, and just like the amount of work that really goes behind it and how it works, and to see the puppeteers, that was the fun part for me, to see the puppeteers really put a lot of effort into it, and see how much work it takes to do that. Because I really thought it was maybe like 1 or 2 guys. It ended up being 3.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Three people who are operating Grogu. So seeing that was super interesting for me.
Yeah, man, that level of coordination right between everybody is like, because they all got to be in sync of what they're trying to do, right? What they're trying to portray. So yeah, I bet that's pretty interesting. They probably have their own language too, of how.
Sure. Yeah, and Grogu's not that big. He's not too big. So imagine 3 people crowding around him to like try to make him move. Like that takes a lot of work, So they did a fantastic job.
Yeah, I was about to say that the puppeteers work very, very close to each other, so they get to know each other very, very well.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you get any of the horrifying scenes where there was a malfunction perhaps with Grogu and they had to like peel back his face and mess with it? Could you imagine a kid turning the corner seeing that?
Oh, dude, that would terrify me. But no, none of those scenes. Generally, if something didn't work, they took them away and they made it work.
Nice.
Yeah.
There it is right there. No matter what suit he wears, he always looks good.
Check that out.
That one right there.
Oh, bam.
That's a commercial right there.
Yeah, man.
Deal.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
And so this one also very, very good looking. Like I said, I love, his shots are so good.
Yeah, Sebastian does fantastic work.
Yeah, he really does. So once again, guys, remember these links are right here in the description of this video right now. So go follow Danny on his Instagram and go follow From a Certain Point of View to keep up with the news and updates about the fan film Civil War, which, as you can see, and we've been talking about it for a little bit, it looks amazing, and I'm sure the finished product is going to be insane. So hopefully, we get to see that fairly soon. So I know there's a ton of work still to be done, but they've already done 2 tons of work, so I think we're getting closer, for sure.
Yep.
And let me see here. We got the Rushmore Show in the house saying, "Hey, Okinawa fam, what's going on, man? Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate you." We also got Archer, the CEO of Nerd Affiliated, saying, "Hey, everyone, what's up? Welcome." We got Samantha Jane. Oh, look at that. Nice. Thank you. Welcome. Appreciate you. We got Bryant saying, "I remember the COVID days, testing our families, testing. Each department had their bubbles at the studio, but because of COVID, streaming took off massively, and that also affected the industry." For sure, man. I'm sure it was quite the shift,
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, a shift
was a
that
pivot for everyone.
Yeah.
We all
Absolutely.
changed.
Yeah, very, very much so. So yeah, again, remember to follow Danny here on Instagram. And I wanted to touch on, because we briefly mentioned it, but here we go. So we had one of our buddy Mandos, get married fairly recently. So, how was that? How was it looked fun. I mean, from the post, it looks very fun, but how was that?
It, it was a lot of fun. Rory asked me to officiate the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And
Nice.
honestly, it scared me the first time. So again, he's like, "Do you want to do this?" And I was like, in true fashion, let me think about it.
Yeah.
But I went to the missus, my girlfriend, and I asked her, I was like, what do you think about it? And one of the first things he goes, "Do you think Rory would hesitate to do it if you asked him?" It's like, you're right. And so I text Rory right back. It's like, yeah, I'll do it.
Nice.
And it was a lot of fun. I'm very honored that they asked me to be a part of such a special day. It was really cool because Rory wanted some Star Wars stuff to be involved, and
Mm-hmm.
initially Allison said no because she wanted to surprise me. She wanted to keep the wedding a little bit, traditional.
Right.
So which is understandable. So it's kind of hard. He's telling me all these ideas that he has, and then
Yeah.
she's like, "Here's my ideas," and then they're both like not talking, obviously. So I like trying to figure out how to make it work, right? And that's some
Their,
of us
their marriage is going to be perfectly fine. They've already
yeah.
passed like 5
Um,
steps.
There.
So it was super cool, that for the rings they had Boba Fett fly the rings in.
Oh,
So
nice.
you're like, "Oh, so where's the rings?" And everyone's kind of looking like, "Oh, I don't know, where's the rings?" And then Boba Fett coming down the aisle with the rings. Like, so we did that, and then at the end, you saw we did the whole lightsaber entrance for them
Yeah.
to come through, and everybody had their helmets and
That's beautiful.
lightsabers. So that was a really fun thing to be a part of. And I'm glad we were able to do it and pull it off. Really.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. So there you go. You get to add to the resume. Um,
Yeah.
wedding
Officiant.
officiator. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah. And
awesome,
I
man.
was super nervous. I was super scared because I'd never done anything like that.
Right.
Um, but yeah, it worked out.
Yeah, it's kind of it's an interesting experience for sure. I actually got to be, the officiator also. Oh man, this was years ago for a couple of friends that were getting married, same thing. And then at the wedding, they couldn't find the rings, but this wasn't planned. This was not part of
Ah,
the gig. Like they really couldn't find the rings.
yeah.
So yeah, I had to do some improv, from the stuff that I had, written down, because everybody's just scrambling, right? Like try to find them, and there I am, with everybody looking at me like, do we move on? Do we? And I'm like, you know what? And then so I just started ad libbing quite a bit, but I think we got through. Most
Yeah.
people didn't quite realize what was going on, and then until afterwards, right? Like talking to the groom and stuff, and they're like, really? It's like, oh, it's like, yeah. I actually had two older ladies ask me where my church was, like where would I, like, because I thought I was a priest. I was like, no, I don't go into those, like that, it stings when I go into a church.
Hurts.
um but yeah, so it was, it was just kind of funny, but like I said, it's nerve-wracking,
Yeah.
until you kind of get up there, right? And then you're like, all right, you know what, we're gonna be fine. We're gonna get
Yeah.
through this. It's gonna be good.
Well, it's funny because they had me walk down the aisle by myself first. So I think that was the most nerve-wracking part. We're just walking by myself up to the front.
Nice.
But like I just made I shouldn't saying I made a joke of it is the wrong way to say it, but I just had to make myself laugh while
Sure.
going down the aisle.
Yeah.
And then once I got to the front, I was like, all right, cool. I got the nerves out of the way. I did my giggles.
Yeah.
We're fine.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Love it.
Oh, and I had a little bit of a cold too. So anytime
No.
I had to like catch my breath or like sniffle, they're like, "Oh, he's getting emotional." So I'd play into it like, "It's okay, guys."
Yep.
Anyway,
That's awesome.
Told
Yeah,
myself I wouldn't cry.
exactly.
I still want to sneeze.
Yeah. That's awesome. So
It
yeah,
was fun.
definitely congrats to Rory and to Allison. I mean, they look super super happy. And I'm sure, many years of a great marriage coming up for them. Like I said, this looks amazing, friends and family coming together like that. That's awesome. So congrats to them. Very cool. We got to hit up Rory, man. I haven't congratulated him actually, now that I think about it. But yeah, so he looks very happy. So congrats on that. And then let's see. I wanted to showcase, where is it? I just saw it earlier. This right here. So mind if we show this little clip?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I know we've been talking about, some of your stunt work, right? But check this out, guys. That would have been, I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah, so that's
I
Taylor
love
Hill, also a
this.
really, really nice dude, really humble. He's actually the one who kept inviting me. He invited me to come down and train.
Nice.
Um, and he's also my counterpart that I fought in Civil War.
Oh, there you
At
go.
least the first time around, right?
Yeah.
So I got really comfortable with him, and he like really paved the way, but like he really opened the door to be like, dude, you can do this. Like, as long as we keep going back and forth and we communicate, we're fine.
That's
Just,
awesome.
and he taught me how to hit my beats and be vocal about, getting to my next part. So I got really comfortable with him. He's doing fantastic. I haven't seen him in a while. He's doing fantastic work right now. He's hustling. He's working,
Nice.
doing stunts. So I'm very proud of him. Very happy to see what he's doing. But yeah, that's us.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, sometimes it just takes a friend, to tell you, hey, why don't you try acting, right? Or it just takes a friend to tell you, hey, you know what, you should keep going with stunt work, right? To just kind of give you that push. So I'm glad that you've had people in your life to kind of reinforce some of the stuff that you were already thinking of
Yeah,
doing. And they're like, you know
That
what,
helpful nudge.
exactly,
yeah,
yeah, very much
yeah.
so.
And it's when you try to discover who you are, it's all about three things. Your associations, the people you're around, the books you read, and the conversations you have. So definitely I try to have the right people in my life who are not only making me a better person, but are doing things that I want to do
There you go.
and are
Yeah,
actively like just good, genuine people. So both inside of acting and outside of acting, I have
right.
people that I'm very fortunate to have in my life who can have crucial conversations with me. Like the other day or yesterday, rather, a good friend of mine, we had a good conversation, not just like him and I, but him and myself and like the rest of our team. He kind of put me on the spot in a way that he's like, hey, look, you're in a funk. I need you to knock it off because you're more capable of doing the kind of things. And I need you to be at your level that I know you can be at. And to have those kind of people in my life that who don't just like hype you up
Yeah,
about what you're doing or what you can do, they really knock you down your peg and then they'll build you back up. You know what I
yep,
mean? Like they
yep,
know you're
yep, yep.
capable of being a certain person at a certain level. And when you're not performing at that level, they're going to call you on your BS.
Yeah,
So I'm very fortunate that I could have those kind of people in my life. It's not always easy and it's not always fun. But if I don't have those kind of people in my life, then I believe that I'll be a kind of a stagnant person. You always need
sure.
those kind of people to really push you and keep you accountable. So both inside of acting and in that world, and then outside of acting, I definitely have the right people in my life.
Very true. Very true. Well said. Yeah, absolutely, man. Um, I like that. I like that a lot. So yeah, we hope that we get to keep seeing you, right, for many many years to come. We're very excited about this project that you're involved with for Civil War. It looks super fun. It looks amazing. Of course, visually, I'm sure it's gonna be incredible. But again, I'm just very excited because there's a lot of people, there's a lot of love, and there's an insane amount of talent, right, going into this project. Um, so yeah, we got we got Chris from the Man Collect saying, "I'm stupid late." Nah, you're
Oh,
fine.
you're all
You're
Man,
right.
just
we'll,
in
we'll run it
time.
back. We're gonna run it
Exactly.
back. All right, here we
Yeah,
go.
don't worry about it.
Me too.
Okay, so we're gonna do a redo, guys. Let's start again. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
But appreciate you coming in, Chris. Thank you, thank you. Um, so yeah. What was I gonna say? I blanked out. Damn it, Chris, you
Threw off
distracted
his
me.
groove, man.
Yeah, exactly.
He dropped the
Uh,
stupid bomb and we all went down.
I know, and we all went like,
Yep,
dang it.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, what do you have coming up next that maybe you can talk about, here?
Other than Civil War, man, just being in the grind. Got to get on the
Yeah.
next project. Everyone's kind of doing it right now. Have an audition for another. I shouldn't say fight choreo, but it is kind of a fight choreo kind of role,
Okay. Nice.
a boxing kind of role. So looking to do that audition in the next couple days, and just get that sent out, and just keep progressing, and hopefully land my next gig and just go from there. Just
Absolutely.
continuously work on my craft, and then this way I'm prepared for what's next.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's what I'm gonna say, right? That's how you stay ready, right? And enable. So that's good, man. I'm glad to see that. So yeah, I hope that hopefully we also get to catch up with you at one of these cons, here soon. Rebels
Well,
Con, year
yeah.
one was a lot
Speaking
of
of
fun.
that, do you have any other cons coming up? I know con season starts for us. For you, I know it's kind of all over the place. I see you travel all the time.
Yeah, God's been good to me. I'm very fortunate to travel. I should have one at the end of August. Don't know where it's at. Uh,
Yeah.
so, I remember talking to my agent. He's like, "Yeah, we have one in August. Don't know where it's at." I said, "All right, cool." So
Nice.
like, do I got to keep something open? I know I have another one in Michigan in September. October, I think I'm gonna be in Mexico. November, I think it should be in Texas, but I
Nice.
probably have those backwards somewhere in there. But yeah, September, October, November.
Nice. So once again, guys, make sure that you're keeping up with Danny here on Instagram. Where I'm sure he'll be posting some of those updates. So you catch him in your neck of the woods on the next show. But yeah, man. Once again, I just want to say thank you for taking the time, and this was
Yeah.
super fun. We definitely gotta catch up. We are following very closely, of course, the development of Civil War, and obviously cannot wait to see it. We're like I said, we're keeping up with any updates you guys throw our way, and yeah, we once that is out up and running and released, we'll definitely want to have you guys back here and chat about it, right?
Absolutely.
Once we know, right? Once we've seen it, once we
Yep.
get a little bit more to sink our teeth into the story and things like that. So we're looking forward to that. But yeah, man, again, thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate it. Once again, we hope to see you soon. Guys, links in the description. Make sure you're following Danny on Instagram. Make sure you are following From a Certain Point of View fan films. It's also linked here. And also, I linked your threads as well. So make sure that you are following
Oh yeah.
Danny on threads. Yeah, I forget, to be honest with you. I don't use it that much. I just kind of like repost a lot from Instagram
Yeah.
because it does it automatically. But yeah, I need to like do some original posts because they like that, when you go into the platform and like
I see
actually
some people really like pushing threads, and they do really well. I post on threads, and I get like 3 people. I'm like, I don't know if this is you, dude.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
same. And then sometimes it's like I'll repost literally right from Instagram. Instagram, I'll get I don't know 300 views right on whatever little picture that I put up, and then
Nice.
threads I get like 2. I'm like, I don't know, man. Like it's I was like, I guess, but it'd be nice if I can break double digits at least.
Oh yeah, hit me with a solid 10 or 11, I'll be happy.
Dude, yeah,
So,
seriously, with threads
yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
But yeah, I remember when they were pushing it like crazy. And now it just kind of seems to have fizzled out for a bit. But yeah, we'll see. Hopefully it picks up. So we got Chris saying hi to Janine. It's like, I hope Scott is doing well. Janine says, hey there. Yes, today was a good day. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Once again, Janine, sending you all our love, all our strength for both you and Scott. Hope to see you guys up and about, pretty soon here, back to normal. So yeah, stay strong. Remember, we're all with you. You're definitely not alone. And yeah, you're definitely in our thoughts. So yeah, man, again, thank you for joining us. Super fun. Really hope to catch up with you again, once Civil War comes out. And yeah, man, can't wait to see it. And can't wait to see what comes up next, for you. So
Thank you.
uh
Appreciate it.
yeah, no, thank you. And again, guys, make sure you check out all of the links linked here in the description below. Make sure you're following Danny for all the updates on his upcoming projects and on his upcoming cons that he's going to be at. There you go, Janine. Just follow Danny. Appreciate you, Janine. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Try to go my follower account. Yeah.
There you
Plus
go.
1.
Exactly.
We're on
Right.
board.
Yeah, right. But also, guess what? We are also on social media. So make sure on Instagram to check out the Dad Vader. Remember that the is what sets him apart. Otherwise, you're gonna get like 20 other different people. But make sure that you are spelling it right. Spell check people. We are also on Facebook, General Kenobi's Bunker, all one word. We are on Instagram, general.kenobis.bunker. We are also on TikTok at general_Kenobis_bunker. The aforementioned threads at general.kenobis.bunker. And remember, guys, we started reactivating our second channel, El Búnker del General Kenobi, where we produce content in Spanish. So I would greatly, greatly appreciate it if you check that out. We've been posting our celebration blogs. I'm about to post our celebration Japan haul video in Spanish, which we already posted here on the main channel, but we're going to post it in Spanish there on the second channel. So, if you got, friends, family, arch nemesis, send them my way. Hopefully, they enjoy the content and let us know. But yes, so that is our second channel right there, El Búnker del General Kenobi. Yeah, appreciate you, man. Thank you. I got to get you some updated ones next time we hang out. And also, guys, dude, I was surprised in Japan. It's such a big thing. Like, people were going nuts. Like, if you have to trade, oh my lord, dude, like they go like crazy for like stickers and stuff. Like, they love it, dude.
So
It's another
quick
form of
2-minute
currency over there.
thing before we I know we're
Oh,
already
for
ending
sure,
off.
yeah.
Quick, I got super obsessed into coins, challenge coins.
Oh, nice.
I got super obsessed into challenge coins now. I have a whole bag that I've been very fortunate to have.
Yeah.
People started giving me their trading cards too, from the Mano Mercs, 501st. And I want to do something a little bit different with them. I just thought of this, and I should have started this a while ago, but here we are. Trading is super cool. The world, I really got to see it when I went to on one of my last cons, and I didn't realize how deep it was for challenge coins or even trading in general. I was like, this is like, people were at a table with a box of challenge coins. So, like, all right.
Oh yeah.
And they would give me the history. Like, this one's from this one's from this garrison. This one was discontinued. This one was like, I was very fortunate to get one from a Mando Merc who unfortunately passed away. They gave me one of his coins that they designed for him. And that one has a lot of meaning behind it. So I'm very fortunate to have that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I've always I have a guy who's in Japan who cosplays as me.
Oh,
So
that's awesome.
I really want to I want to trade with him for something, like trade him something, or at least pass something out to him.
Yeah,
for sure.
We're in touch, but it's super cool that the community, like, how involved it is with trading. So,
Dude, definitely.
yeah.
Every day. Unfortunately, I didn't find the spot until the last day. But every day at Celebration, there was like unofficial trading, right? So people just posted on the Facebook groups like, "Hey, we're gonna meet here, right, within the venue or just outside the venue," and people would just flock and trade. Like, that's all it was.
That's super cool.
Yeah, last day I got a bunch of stuff. I mean, I got obviously stickers, patches. Patches are a big thing too.
Patches too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Some people had, like 3D printed, like keychains and stuff like that. And I was like, dude, I need to step up my game. Like, I had patches and stickers, but yeah, there you go.
Parts. Yeah.
Nice. But yeah, man, and they were excited. Like, just like if you had something to trade, man, they were like all over it.
100%.
So yeah, it was fun, definitely. So yeah, I'm gonna be a lot better prepared for Celebration, 2027 in
I've
LA.
already started planning. I've
Yeah.
already started planning.
Yeah,
I even
for
told the
sure, man.
missus, like, hey, look, you want to come with me? Yes or no? Because when tickets go on sale, I'm gonna buy one. I need to know if
Yeah.
I'm buying one or two. She's like,
Yeah.
I'll buy two. It's like, all right, well, that means if you're in it, you're in it. Like, we're gonna be
Yes.
there.
There you go.
So
Yeah,
we're gonna
dude,
be
same
there.
here. Yeah, we're excited. We actually need to start booking some stuff now that I think about it. We should
Yeah.
start looking into like the actual hotel and stuff, because
Same. Yeah.
it's gonna go crazy. One last thing that I forgot to mention, guys.
Yes.
I will be going to San Diego Comic-Con for the very first time this year. So July 24th to the 27th, I will be out there at SDCC working alongside the Legacy of Nerd. Our brother Daniel got media passes, so it's gonna be quite the experience. First time that I'm going, and obviously first time going as media, so it's gonna be interesting. So if you're out there at the event, let me know, hang out, get at least a sticker from me. And so yeah, stop by, say hi again. We'll be out there covering all of the fun stuff that will be happening. So again, that is July 24th to the 27th. Basically, I'll be out there every day of the event. So if you see me, say hi. If you see me crying, just let it go. Don't say anything. Okay, I'll be fine. I will be fine. So yeah,
Also,
thanks again.
shout out to Daniel also for crossing 20,000.
Yeah, so our friend Daniel from the Legacy Nerd just passed the 20,000 follower mark here on Instagram. He had just passed the 10,000 subscriber on YouTube. So it's insanely his social media just took off. We will be having a live stream, or he will be having a live stream next week, I believe. Actually, next Wednesday, if I remember correctly. So make sure that you check that out. Make sure that you are following him on social media. Again, that's the Legacy of a Nerd. So big shout out, congrats, brother. And yeah, we'll be out there on San Diego Comic-Con. So I think that's it. That is going to do it for this show tonight with our awesome guest, Daniel. Once again, thank you so much. Go following people, Bunker Bunch, show some love.
Yes.
And again, we hope to get to hang out with you, in person soon. So
yeah, hopefully we get to do this again soon. Try to get
Absolutely.
my follower count up and try to pass Rory.
There you go.
He's like 13,000 in front of me, but it's okay.
Yikes.
We'll get there.
Yeah, right. We'll get there for sure.
We'll get there. Yeah. But yeah, hopefully we get to see you guys again. We had a great time at Rebel Scum.
Absolutely.
Rebel Scum was a lot of fun because there was a lot of us that were friends that are in the universe,
Yeah.
but we're all together in one place, which was super cool. And yeah, hopefully we get to do it again.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was such a great vibe, right? We hope that it continues. We will be going to the second iteration here in August. Looking forward to that for sure, and looking forward to the show continuing, right? So that we get to have more of those opportunities to meet and hang out with people like you. So we're very much looking forward to it. So yep. All right, that is gonna do it. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. Have a great rest of your week. And if not, hey, the weekend is just around the corner. So just hang on tight. All right, guys. Thank you so much. And may the force be with you.